At this point in my life, I've chased after a couple of thieves and I'm lucky I'm still alive and well. So, the first time that this happened was back in high school. I remember vividly. I was having lunch with my dad after he picked me up from school. And as soon as we drove home, he opened the garage door with the remote. And I saw my brother dashing out, just yelling. And at that moment, I was freaked out. I was like, what is going on? Why is my brother running out of the garage and yelling at something? And so I immediately got off the car and I was like, hey, what's going on? And my brother told me, someone, someone stole our stuff. There was a thief. Someone stole our stuff, and he just like kept repeating it and repeating it, and like I immediately felt my blood boiling, really, and I was just like, what do you mean? What do you mean someone stole our stuff? And he was just saying, oh, they drove off in a car, and then he was just like pointing towards that direction, and without a single thought, my first reaction was just to run after the car, and basically I dashed and I just ran after the car. I saw like the tail of the car. I couldn't see the car plate. But basically I just dashed. I just ran and ran, and I just basically ran to the main road. And yeah, I remember I was like yelling like, there's a thief, someone call the police. And it was pretty crazy thinking back what I did. And honestly, just realistically speaking, there was no way that I would have caught up with the guys. But I think there was just something in me that just felt like I couldn't let them get away, even if I realistically knew that I couldn't possibly follow them. And so obviously I gave up at a certain point, and then I kind of walked back, and then we contacted the police and blah blah blah. But at the end, because the thieves were greedy, so they were actually going to other houses subsequently and stealing more stuff. And so the police eventually caught up because obviously a lot of people reported them at the same day. And so the police located them, and eventually we retrieved our stuff because they dropped the bag when they were flipping another fence. And the second time that I happened to chase a thief is back when I worked in a camera shop. And it's a pretty funny story thinking back because basically there was this customer that came in, and immediately he said he wanted to buy an FX3, which is a pretty expensive camera. And I was like, okay, great. I mean, good for myself, right? So I just kind of said, oh, like, you want a body, you want any lenses? And he was like, basically checked. He was like, oh, I wanted to try out the camera, which is a pretty normal thing before you buy. And so I said, yeah, for sure. Let one of my colleagues bring out a camera demo for you. And so when he held the camera in his hand, he asked me the question, oh, like, why is this screen like white? Why is it not showing anything? And in that moment, I was like, it was like my head was full of question marks. I was like, what is this guy on about? Because there wasn't a lens on the camera. So if you even have a basic knowledge of cameras, you would know that a camera body, you need to attach a lens on it in order for it to work. And at that point, I was like high key confused. I was just like, okay, so this guy knows nothing about cameras, and he's buying like a FX3, which was probably close to like 7 or 8K at that point. And it's just trying to be professional, right? So because I was thinking maybe this guy's buying a camera for his friend or something. I'm not sure. So I just patiently kind of taught him about the fact that you had to put a lens on a camera body in order for an image to come up. And so when he heard that, he said, "Oh, okay. What lens do you recommend? Can I try a lens as well?" And I was like, "Sure." Told my colleague to grab another lens. And basically, what happened is there was like a bunch of bodies and lenses at this point just sitting on the counter. And I was just standing at the counter, and we were basically at the point where, okay, like, oh, it's time for you to pay for the stuff, and let me grab some stock, right? So one of my colleague was putting things back into the shelves, and I was looking under the counter to look for some things. And at that split second, when none of us was watching, this guy literally just hugged all the stuff on the counter, like the camera body, the lens, the new camera body and lens. So like four things at this point, which is like almost 10-20K worth of gear. And he just dashed. He just ran, like he just whoosh went up the door, and I just like snapped up. I was like in shock. But same thing happened again. I just dashed as well without a single thought in my brain. And I just ran after this guy. And obviously, I'm not that fit, so I didn't catch up to him. But what happened was my colleague saw me running, and then he basically chased after me. And he was fitter than me, so he caught up with the guy eventually. But what happened in between was that we were kind of lucky that a off-duty security guy was just driving around, and then he saw like two of us just like running and yelling at this guy, and he was like, "Yo, what's up? Like, why are you guys running around?" And then we basically told him like, "This guy just stole like 20K worth of gear. Can you like help us catch him in your car?" And so he basically drove up to that guy and pushed him to the ground, and all that kind of crazy stuff happened. And then eventually we got the police involved, and then they took him to the jail or whatever. And yeah, we got our stuff back. So what's funny though is that after this whole incident, the guy was released from the like police custody or holdings, like I think within a week. And basically he went on to steal a shop, like another camera shop that's like 2 blocks down from our shop, and he got away with it. And so I think why I'm telling you this story of these two times that I chased after thieves, and basically looking back, it was pretty stupid in a sense that one, I probably didn't achieve much by chasing them because I wasn't the police, right? I didn't catch them. And even if the police catch them, sometimes they get released and they keep stealing stuff. And I'm also putting myself in danger at some point because yeah, I'm chasing after these guys which have obviously a certain level of malicious intent. And maybe they have weapons, maybe they could even have guns, and maybe I could have gotten really hurt. But I think what I've learned from these experiences is that number one, trust your intuition. If you feel like something is off with someone or just a situation feels fishy for whatever reason, it's probably good to really tap in and pay attention and really be observant of your surroundings and be careful. And the second thing I think is that I just think that I can't tolerate things that are unjust. I just can't. It's not about, when I'm chasing after these people, I feel like it's not about the items that are being stolen for me. Like I can let those go. But it's the fact that they're stealing from people that have worked hard for those things, or they're just the act of stealing in general just disgusts me. And so my body just gets so fired up that my first instinct is to just chase after them and not even think about it. And I think that is something that I can see when I'm working with people or just in general other interactions as well, where I just really want to make sure that things are done right. And I don't want, yeah, I don't want to put anyone in a situation where they feel like they're robbed, or they feel like it's an unjust situation. I just feel like it's such a bad feeling. And so I think that is why I've, despite of the experiences and the lessons of, hey, maybe it's a dumb idea for you to chase after the thieves, that I just can't stop myself because I just feel this urge and this rage to make things right. And number three is obviously safety is important. So maybe touch wood, if the next time I somehow have to chase after the thief, I might think about it a little bit more beforehand, before my legs, start moving. And yeah, I guess that's kind of the story I want to share today about, my experiences with chasing after thieves, and what that has taught me about maybe what I value as a person, and also just, yeah, maybe being a little bit more smart next time. But yeah, this is day 18, I think. Yeah, day 18 of me talking to the camera. Bye.